What was once cool but was ruined by popularity. YouTube. The algorithm favors videos now that basically mimic television talk shows. 10+ minutes. Doesn't swear, contain any obscenities. Doesn't contain certain words in the description, etc. Also look up the banned word list that will get your ad revenue taken away. Some of them are ridiculous. I miss pre-2016 YouTube. Back then it was just crazy shit and video game theories. I will never forget the pirate album Monsieur, but I can't find anywhere else for reliable access to weird music. So, to some extent, Reddit. When the popularity of a subreddit increases, the quality of posts decreases. And people still act like Reddit is some sort of secret niche site that only nerds know about. It gets more daily visitors than Instagram, and surpasses Facebook in many countries. It's mainstream AF. Not to some extent. Reddit is a shell of how great it used to be, when it was a less negative, trolling and disturbing version of 4chan. It's now vanilla, Karens, scared, and post-whoring humans. Remember when you could call someone out for clear-vein post-whoring? And the community agreed. Now you get downvoted, and the front page looks like my IG feed half the time. Fortnite. Honestly, in the beginning when we were all noobs and nobody used to build whole palaces in 10 seconds was quite funny. In a very few months it became so popular people started taking it too seriously and I just uninstalled it. I remember early Fortnite when I, as a casual gamer working a full-time job, could compete and get the occasional win. Back when a wall or a 1x1 was all you really needed to know how to build. When it got to the point where someone built a damn castle after you fired a single shot, I just couldn't compete anymore. It made me sad because I used to enjoy it, but the learning curve became so steep that most casuals couldn't keep up. Hiking to the top of Mount Everest, which is now ruined by over-tourist Monsieur. It's nasty to think of now. All the bodies and human waste. Our national park system, Monsieur. To be clear, the throngs of people visiting the parks is a good thing. That said, when they come with the expectation to increase road size, adding commodity areas, restaurants, enormous RV parks, and gift shops, and the subsequent demand for more utilities, we lose something, the very thing we came for: nature. Corrected for spelling error, thanks R shiny_mega_Rayquaza. Not to belittle your point, but it's lose not loose. Rick and Monty. I remember the first couples of seasons being this really cool, new, funny TV show I looked forward to seeing. Now I feel ashamed even talking about it from how toxic and cringe the fan base has become. But the Pickle Rick. I saw Pickle Rick flavored Pringles at the store and it just made me sad. The word sim actually used to mean something, but since it got popular on the internet, it's just been thrown around and has lost all its meaning. I genuinely hate the word simp. That's funny. Simp was the first word that came to mind when I typed out this question. That and boomer. Gen Z and millennials use boomer the same way boomers use millennial. That's what happens to every word the meme crowd gets their hands on. Just like huck, incel, neckbeard, hipster, etc. before it, they all had actual meanings at one point, but devolved into person I don't agree with. My favorite fishing hole. That's a rude way to refer to your wife. To be fair, I thought he said fisting hole at first. Kale, avocado, quinoa, couscous, acai, collard greens, kombucha, peeing your pants. If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis. Who would steal 30-bag lunches? The internet, the ARPANET, all destinations that suffocate under mass tourists, Monsieur. Let's not bring up your mum's bedroom though. Cosplay. It's just becoming a model-esque shitshow that folks take way too seriously. I've heard too many people back away either from drama and elitism or feeling too intimidated. Undertale, The Earth, Social Distancing, Toto, great band, but everyone's obsessed with the song Africa, which honestly is a decent song but it's insanely overplayed now. And Toto has so many songs that are so much better. Hydra is a great one. Thanks. My favorite Toto song was Rosanna. I'll check out Hydra. Game of Thrones, Rick and Morty, Napoleon Dynamite. I was in my 3rd year of high school. You can only hear Tina, you fat lard, without any context so many times. Napoleon Dynamite was middle school for me. You can only see and hear the phrase "vote for Pedro" so many times before you lose it. I actually never got tired of it. It brought the whole school together on the same level for the whole year, and I enjoyed the inclusiveness. I don't know. Rick and Morty was genuinely pretty good still in season 3, despite its massive increase in popularity. Sure, seeing the shirts or Target are kind of obnoxious. But the reason Rick and Morty has become less cool is because season 4 is generally not as good. I am not talking about the content but more about the fanbase. 4 was all over the place, but I felt the finale was pretty good. Lots of stuff. However, the issue isn't that it has grown in popularity. It is corporate holes trying to profit off of it. Video games have gone downhill once there were just a handful of big companies. Websites that employ algorithms that promotes paid-for content. Even Amazon's sponsored items that bypass filters. The list goes on. Fossil fuels, smoking, TikTok. You can somehow have good ones and then you get frickin' copy-pasta stuff. Twitch streamers. Once they're up over 500 viewers, they're usually a dumpster fire of Streamlabs overlays, shitty background music, begging for biddies, and obnoxious shouty interaction. Every time I get on Twitch I always end up circling back to the small streamers who are just there to have some fun. The song American Idiot by Green Day. It was awesome when it first came out, and then all of a sudden it was on every radio station and all the music channels. It got old really fast. Fashion hacks, it not practical anymore, and mostly copied from another influencer. You get my upvote back. Say I despise the name influencer. My friends. Reddit. Game of Thrones, Happy Cake Day, Nirvana. The fact that a lot of popularity came after Kurt Cobain's suicide says something about society as well. Not to mention the goddamn t-shirts. YouTube, TikTok, Fortnite. Being a nerd. This, I blame Big Bang Theory. Most of jokes everywhere probably. Roblox. There are so many horrible games on there now. Traveling ruined by influencers. A good amount of video games, including, but not limited to, Undertale, Five Nights at Freddy's, Fortnite, Battle Royale. The list goes on. Mental health. Now it's trendy and poetic. Now suicide is deep and inspirational. Now Kurt Cobain's suicide night can be printed on a shirt and sold for money. I have bipolar type 2, and seeing people try to go, "Oh, I'm this mental disorder," is ridiculous. The North American continent. Fuck colonization. Return to the Incans, Mayans, Aztecs, and first peoples of the world. Reddit. Most memes. Very few exceptions. Having sex with my girlfriend. That joke where people claim someone offered them ice cream or pretzel if they'd let him do some ridiculous sex act on the monsieur, then ending it with "he took off running over there," revealing to the viewers that they have ice cream or pretzel. I enjoyed the first 72 versions of this. The internet. Harley Quinn, Rick and Morty. It's genuinely good, entertaining show, but the fandom is just unbearable. Not funny, and tears the show apart to find those jokes that you have to be super smart in order to understand. Otherwise you're not a true Rick and Morty fan. I haven't watched season 4 yet. Charlie Chaplin, The Circus 1928. Absolutely heart-wrenching, makes me cry every time I watch it. America. Basically everything. Fortnite. Was cool for a few minutes. eBay. Facebook. Star Wars. Flappy Bird. The game was really fun and addicting, but it got so popular that the creator deleted it. 9gag. Still good. Deadpool. Pop figures. Rick and Morty. I use things that are popular or not. I don't give a fuck if they're ruined. How about bands? Goo Goo Dolls used to be this great melodic punky band from Buffalo. Now they live in LA. The remaining two, Right Pop Slop, and Johnny got work done on his iconic nose and looks like he's trying to be Joan Rivers. Went from "these guys are cool" to "not this shit again." Facebook, Vine, why did they have to take it from us and fuck it all up to make TikTok? Frida Kahlo, care to explain? Fidget spinners, Fortnite, the list goes on. My favorite Mexican food restaurant. Working from home. Most TV shows that are considered underrated after the first season. Tattoos. A lot of cars. Like the Mustang and Camaro were really cool, but young stupid people started driving them, crashing them and making stupid things with them. Monsieur, they were really cool until young people got their hands on them and started racing the shit out of them, and I think those cars lost their charm. Monsieur, Mount Everest used to be an amazing accomplishment. Now it just screams rich and bored. Fortnite, Undertale, fun game, but the memes just aren't fucking funny. Stop making them, Monsieur. Everything that has existed in the whole universe, probably. MySpace was a really cool place until it just got too big and their servers couldn't handle it, making it a bad experience. But in the early days when it was mostly musicians, it was a really cool place. Hipsters. By definition, there are so many things which we love to the point we claim certain authority over it while it remains unknown to many, and suddenly whole world starts using it and bam, the fun has gone. It wasn't really cool, but living in Wyoming before the coronavirus, I would see probably 1,500 tourists in my town if 10,000, which is for the economy, but I found myself often not being able to get a certain item at a store or not being able to get a seat at a restaurant due to how many tourists that were here. Fidget spinners. TikTok. When it was Vine, fame. Not cool per se, but I bet that one guy's post about beating off to his aunt's nudes on RT is at some point definitely going to be ruined by its popularity. It's pretty cool for us to witness his fuck up. Fortnite. It was seriously awesome, but now there are those people who spend 10 hours a day practicing cranking 90s or whatever. It's why I love battle royales like Apex and Warzone. Tinder. Doge memes. They were actually funny at one point, but now it's the same wholesome bullshit or something racist. The internet. Planet Earth. Surfing. It sucks so much because Instagram, Monsieur. Sicko mode. Fortnite. It's not that bad. Fortnite. I played Fortnite back in early 2018 and I had an absolute blast, but now it doesn't even look like the same game. It's really disappointing. Most of the things either get ruined by kids overusing them, or old people, mainly politicians and business, trying to get you supporting them, thinking you can't see past their tricks. Fortnite. The Jonas Brothers. Supreme. Damn near everything. Billie Eilish. TikTok and YouTube. Earth. Fortnite was actually quite fun when it was released. I had a few buddies to play with and it was quite fun. But then the 9-year-olds arrived. 9-year-olds ruin everything. Memes. Memes. What do you mean? Memes are da shit. Pro wrestling. I'm so sick of the cool, bad guy characters after the NWO and the Attitude Era. Heels are supposed to be hated and evil. Your entire story progression depends on the heel feeding and propping up the good guy. If the heel is trying hard to act cool, you're totally sandbagging the babyface. Do you like the UFC? Popularity. A lot of the TikTok songs. I could be listening to music and my friends ask what I'm listening to, and they'll respond with EEWWW or an E-boy, simp. Just TikTok in general has been ruined by those horrible displays of rhythmic movement that people call dancing. I'd like to go back to a time when the furry wars were a thing and TikTok was basically Vine, but somewhat worse. Pogs from back in the 90s. Nah man, they never stopped being cool. The problem was they ended up getting banned from schools cause kids would play for keeps and then their losers cried about it. If it wasn't for the band they would have lasted much longer. I'm missing like half of the set from The Lion King. I also have one from Star Wars Episode 1, plus about 20 others from various sources. I had a whole bunch, no idea how many. I even had an official Pog tournament game pad. Fun times. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.